You're not scaring me, man. I'm just worried about you.
I see you're doing the heart thing with your hands. Look, we love you too. We just want you to be safe.
Impact, impact, impact.
Some breaking news: the family of Christian Glass, who was shot and killed by police in Colorado last year after he called for help following a car crash, is going to receive $19 million from the state of Colorado and local authorities as part of a settlement agreement, making it the largest police settlement paid by the state of Colorado and one of the largest in the country. So basically, a police officer may use deadly force only if that officer has probable cause to believe that the person poses a threat of serious physical harm either to the officer or to anyone else. Here's the important thing: the mere presence of a weapon just alone does not itself justify deadly force.
Hello, 911.
I'm in a vehicle. My vehicle got stuck. I'm stuck in a dangerous place, and I will be killed. I'm going to have to kill some skinwalkers. Can you stay on the phone with me?
Are there any weapons that you're aware of?
I have a weapon on me. I will throw them out the window as soon as an officer gets here.
The 22-year-old called 911 for help after a crash left his SUV that he was driving stuck off the road. Police found him in a state of mental distress, refusing to leave his vehicle.
Be advised, this party is stating that he has weapons in the vehicle with him: 2 knives, a hammer, and a rubber mallet.
Keep your windows down because we're here to help you. How about you step out of the vehicle? You already said you have weapons in the car.
Okay, I'm going to pass them out. Can I throw them out?
No, do not throw them out. Do not touch them. Do not reach for them. Step out of the car now. I will break the window. Step out of the car. He's got a knife in his seat right there. His seat, okay. Step out of the fucking car now. 161 at gunpoint.
Note that he is inside the car by himself. There's no one else in the car that's in danger. So the only individual who's in danger in there from the knife that this guy has is this guy himself. But look at the police officers on the outside. They have their handguns pointed at him. They are threatening to use deadly force. Now, who are they going to save if they use deadly force on a guy who's locked inside his car with a knife?
I see you're doing the heart thing with your hands. Look, we love you too. We just want you to be safe.
And here's another thing that I think is important. If you look at some of the footage here, some of these police officers are going right up to the window. They're conversing with this guy. They're making little heart signs with the guy. One of the officers even says that he's not afraid of him.
You're not scaring me, man. I'm just worried about you.
So there's objectively viewable evidence that this guy, or that a reasonable police officer, would not perceive a deadly force situation here, that this guy was an immediate serious safety threat to somebody other than himself.
Hit the lock. Let's open up the door.
It's time to move the night on, okay? We gotta move.
Glass remained in his car for over an hour,
Christian, just step out of the car now.
even telling officers that he was terrified at one point before they tried to forcibly remove him by breaking the windows.
116 will be forcing entry.
This led to Glass grabbing a knife, prompting one of the officers to then shoot him 5 times. The $19 million settlement will be paid by the state of Colorado, along with Clear Creek County, the town of Georgetown, and the city of Idaho Springs, according to a statement released by the attorneys representing Glass. The settlement will be paid by the state of Colorado, along with Clear Creek County, the town of Georgetown, and the city of Idaho Springs, according to a statement released by the attorneys representing Glass's family. In addition to the $19 million payment, the state and local authorities have also agreed to carry out several other steps as part of the settlement, which the Glass family's attorneys say is aimed at honoring Christian's memory and effecting lasting change. So, Clear Creek County has agreed to set up a dedicated crisis response team to deal with emergencies involving mental health crises and train all of its patrol officers in crisis intervention. The county has also agreed to dedicate a public park to Glass and allow his parents Simon and Sally Glass to share their son's story with new patrol recruits at the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office. The 3 local authorities named in the settlement, the police officers, have each issued separate apology letters noting that Glass's death was avoidable, which according to the Denver Post was also a requirement of the settlement. All right, let's make sure we're on the same page about what the law is, and then we can discuss the facts. So basically, a police officer may use deadly force only if that officer has probable cause to believe that the person poses a threat of serious physical harm either to the officer or to anyone else. In this case, the guy is alleged to have had a knife and he went for a knife. Here's the important thing. The mere presence of a weapon just alone does not itself justify deadly force. And not all weapons are treated equally by the courts in reviewing the reasonableness of a police shooting. Different weapons have different capabilities, and that will be taken into account. Deadly force just cannot be used unless someone's life is in imminent danger. The reasonableness of that belief is an objective standard. Here, the weapon that the guy had is a knife. He's still in his car. They're trying to get him out of the car. If he had a gun, that would be a different analysis. In almost any police shooting case, if somebody has a gun, they say drop the gun, the guy didn't drop the gun, and they shoot, that almost always is going to be ruled by the courts to be a good shoot. Not so much the case with knives. There are a lot of cases out there where the courts have found bad shoots where the guy had a knife. And this is one of those cases because he's inside a car and he's not wanting to come out of the car, and he only has a knife, not a gun. So he's limited in what he can do, the damage that he can cause inside that car with a knife. If he got out of the car and he started chasing people around with a knife, that's obviously different. But he's not. He's inside the car. He has limited and restricted mobility. He's surrounded by police officers, and he's known to have mental issues. Of course, that could go either way. That could be reasonable to assume that somebody suffering these mental delusions could be dangerous or more dangerous. But also they know that this person needs help. $19 million is a huge settlement. And the reason why this case settled for so much is, one, because there is a sympathetic victim. This is not somebody who was out committing crimes. He was suffering from these mental delusions. He had some sort of mental illness. And so a potential jury at the end of the day is going to likely sympathize with him.
I see you're doing the heart thing with your hands. Look, we love you too. We just want you to be safe.
Secondly, the police officers did not need to be as aggressive as they were. There was no immediate reason to force the issue and pull him out of the car. There could have been other options available.
Hit the lock. Let's open up the door.
It's time to move the night on, okay? We gotta move.
Lastly, when this happened, there was a lot of media attention, and that is always, and the media attention was overwhelmingly negative towards the police. So the potential jury pool who's going to sit and hear that case is very likely to have heard something about this and have a negative viewpoint towards the conduct of law enforcement here, whether they admit it or not. And really, there is one final reason, is when you have this media exposure like this, that's when the politicians are wanting to throw people under the bus. They're wanting to conduct damage control. So that probably played a part here as well. So as always, thanks for watching. If you like going over these sorts of videos and discussing constitutional law, please make sure to subscribe both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We're just about to 300,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate that. Remember, freedom is scary. Deal with it.